All right, so as I promised, part 2. We're looking at the discussion board opinions and the developer comments on the same topics that I uploaded about yesterday, which was from the user advisory group, which I also told you guys about was immediately disbanded. So we'll go over that. This is quite a lot of information, and then we'll shortly go after this as well. The first Golden Hand Awards is just a little bit about like NX stuff. And then there's also the KMST Tespia with the Guardian Angel Slime. So we'll go over all of these things. This will be one video, and this will be another video most likely, because this will probably be pretty long. But let's go over this and see what you guys agree with, disagree with, and how you guys are looking at these same topics versus what the user advisory group says, what the discussion board, so the player base basically said, and what the developers themselves said about all of these same topics. So let's look. 2 new notices. So this is from July 30th. So okay, that's also already almost a week old, but you know, we're catching up because I was gone for a little bit. I was out of the country. I'm not going to translate the stuff about the discussion board reorganization because these notices are already super long and it's pretty boring, so people don't care about it, lol. Totally feel you on that one, Max. Again, Orangemushroom blog. Max does a lot of good work here, so give him a gander if you have the time. Whitelist him. Get some beautiful ads on the side. Do you have any ads? I don't have any ads right now, but I swear it's whitelisted. Look. Okay, never mind. For some reason it was on. I had it off before. Oh, there you go. Ads immediately. I don't know why it turned itself back on. That's weird. Yes, Microsoft ads. Azure. Get in there. Okay. So, yes. Here, thanks to all the players who participated in the discussion board. Opinions from June 30th to July 26th, so they gave it roughly like a 4-week period to allow people to give feedback on those main topics. We'd like to show the top 10 opinions about the 3 topics suggested in the development team. Oh god, 30 in total. It's going to be a lot of stuff to cover. By the development team, as well as the positions that agreed and disagreed with those opinions which were expressed by other players through the comments. We read the posts written by many players, and they were all valuable opinions. So I can already tell you some of those were not, but let's continue. However, since it was difficult to include all the information on this page, we have used the agree number to show the opinions which players agreed with. Basically like an upvote system, I would assume, right? Though we're only talking about the top 10 posts due to space limitations, we would like to let you know that we are considering the other posts when we decide our development direction. Yeah, just because something doesn't get upvoted by all the people in the player base doesn't mean that it is not a great idea or something that the dev team can actually implement, opposed to something else which is kind of like a wishful thinking kind of thing, where a lot of people would want it, but it's not really realistically able to be implemented, right? Currently, discussion topics are based on the top 10. We will discuss suggested accordingly. We're also reviewing the opinions sent through the leave a topic you want to discuss opinion, and we'll inform you about the next discussion topics and schedule in the future notice. Right, yeah, because one of the other things on the discussion board is which topics do you want to be on a discussion board? Because they are restructuring to have like 3 main topics and not too many more, so they can cluster the feedback better, blah, blah, blah. So, again, the boss reward reorganization. So let's see. Please let's enter daily bosses on other characters if we have completed the pre-quest on our main character. So in general, unionizing? No. Consolidating? I don't know. I guess consolidating the requirement for all the pre-quests to just 1 character per account. I don't know if it's necessary to do that for all, but for a lot of areas, I do agree that it's probably for the better. Like for the important ones, we already have it, but some of them are a little bit tedious, and you're like, why do I have to go through all of this? I would extend this also to like all of the pop-ups you get as a player, all of the admin pop-ups, and all of the lore messages. Like, allow us to skip things if we've already completed it on a character on our account. You know, that in general, not just bosses, but just like lore and intro stuff in general, I would say. Like all of the storylines with the Arcane River, like I get it for the first time, it's really cool, the cinematics, all the hard work you guys put in. But if I'm doing it on my 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th character, like please let me just skip through all of this. Reorganize this because it takes so long to clear the boss pre-quest for each character. Agree, it is inconvenient because it takes a long time. It would be positive because reducing the number of accounts acquiring rewards would also decrease workshops. The fuck? I hope they change the clear record to be per world, like weekly bosses. I don't want to repeat the same quest with simple scripts that have no differences for each job. If you limit the number of intense power crystals acquired, I think it could prevent repeated meso supply and demand. For non-reboot, yes. Don't do anything for reboot, okay? I disagree. Repeatable meso supply and demand and increase in boss road supply could affect... Since stories are an important part of MMORPGs, I think sharing quest progress is unnecessary. I don't want to share quest progress, but simplifying them is necessary. I mean, I think you should give people the option to skip if they want to, or skip parts of it. I don't know. I kind of see it like the pre-quest for Rudibus, where you still have to go through it, but there's a bunch of stuff where that has like cinematics that you can skip if you want to, or you can do the whole storyline if you want to, but you still have to do a few quests for it. If most of the quest lines are like that, I think people would be fine with it. Reorganizing the Cygnus entry materials. Remove the boss entry materials to make entering normal Cygnus easier. It is cumbersome. To have to collect the materials repeatedly and move through a lot of it. Yeah. Especially if you're in a map and you can't loot there because there's a rune and you have to activate the rune first and then put yourself on rune cooldown. That's so weird, but then you can't take the buff out of the map. So, it would be convenient if the entry material became a permanent item like Horntail, or like Pink Bean was for a little bit. Remember that one? Remember Pink Bean permanent entry item? I remember that. I was there for that. For that month or two when that was a thing. Disagree, since it's an entry material that appears in the game's story, I think it would be difficult to simply delete it. Yeah, I don't know. It's just annoying to have like 6 stacks in your inventory to have to keep the whole time. I don't know. Yeah, it is tedious. Yeah, tedious is the word. Please change the boss entry portal. After completing a boss, let us use the NPC chat gathering key or the mouse on the portal. Same topic. Oh. Therefore, let us choose to have the option to use NPC key gathering. Necessary to change it so that an NPC that lets you exit appears after defeating the boss. Exiting using mouse clicks is still inconvenient and needs to be improved. It is necessary to change it so that only very important bosses let you exit with the mouse. We request that you improve it so that we can choose the boss exit portal usage method we want. I mean, it shouldn't be something that you accidentally press up on and then you get like a screen to pop up when you're in the middle of the boss fight. That obviously shouldn't be a thing, but I think that's removed now, right, in KMS. And the other thing is if it's something that you can click with your mouse to leave early, then that's good enough, right? Is that not how it works now? It's inconvenient and needs to be improved? And what if you fat finger your NPC chat when you're standing near the portal, and then it makes, and then it asks you if you want to? I mean, then you have the same problem as pressing up, basically, right? You just want to be able to not have to click after they kill the boss like before. I think using mouse clicks is inconvenient. This seems like a baby feedback, honestly. But only after the boss is dead. I don't know how important this is. This seems very... If used with the NPC check gathering key, it could use some skills when exiting. If the portal becomes easier to use, you might exit without looting the rewards. Yeah, so I agree with keeping it as is. Yeah, exactly. Certain jobs, for example, Battle Mage, needed to be kept the same. Okay. Yeah, this is all right. This is pretty specific. I don't know how important this is. Once we get the change with the portals, we'll probably see what kind of things they run into and what kind of things they're talking about here. We'll see that more. They want it to be toggleable? Yeah, I guess so, but I wonder to which extent this is all important. But yeah, okay. If being able to choose how you exit is helpful for a bunch of people. I mean, it's the same thing as being able to choose the color palette on the chat messages, right? So you can make sure that whatever level of color blindness you have, to make sure that you can clearly see which kind of which color is which chat for yourself, and not that they just give you some kind of presets, because then if none of the presets work for you, you're still fucked. So I guess that's fine. Remove shared rewards and replace them with individual rewards, reorganizing it so that when bosses are defeated in a party, rewards are obtained by dividing them into 1 over n. Hey, stop. No, actually, keep stealing my ideas from my chat, please. I love it. These are all great ideas, and you should all fight for these in KMS. Yeah. After changing them to individual rewards, drop rates need to be adjusted. I've said this a bunch of times. Just take the amount of Silent Crusade coins, divide them over n. The amount of honor experience divided over n. Make everything instant so everyone can just loot their own shit. The way that looting is now is abhorrent. It is the worst of all the options. But yeah. Wonder how it will be rounded. Like for honor experience, it doesn't matter. For Silent Crusade coins, I mean, just round to the nearest whole number. Nobody really cares about those anyway for the big weekly bosses that you do in a party. It's just make it so that things just go into your inventory automatically. Like you have pets, and you still have to manually loot, and then you have to wonder like how big the draw. Oh god. Keep stealing is a good idea, so the game becomes so much better. I mean, I think so. With these things, I mean, there's probably also a bunch of ideas that I have that would be really bad for the game. So I'm not saying like blanketly implement everything, but I do see a lot of good suggestions because I would have the same ones. Item drops need to be removed, and the intense power crystal prices and material item drop rate need to be increased. A direction where after acquiring rewards, you can go to the auction house on the spot and divide profit. A non-reboot thing. If more items are given out, there are concerns about the game economy. Again, not a reboot problem. It's natural to share rewards since we all worked hard together, but there are concerns that distribution would be difficult if they're changed to individual rewards. Well, I think nobody gives a fuck about like doing it for Silent Crusade coins and doing it, you know, the things I just mentioned. I think they're more talking about what if you get like a specific arcane item drop that somebody sells off and then, you know, shares the gains, shares the profits with the party, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, I think it would be cool if... Oh, here's an idea. What if you're in a party of like 5 people, and then when you list an item, you can say list as party leader, and then all of the people who are in your party will automatically get added. And then if it sells, the money gets sent, and you could put in like, what is the split? And if you are the leader and you put it up for sale, and it sells, then it'll get, based on the split division, like it'll go to all the members as auction house automatically, something like that, right? Like, as long as you're in the party, when you put it up for sale, you can list it as a party or list it as an individual. That could be interesting if they added that, I guess. But yeah, this is very specific for non-reboot, so I don't know the exact implications, because I never worked with any of that. I was gone before the auction house came out. I was MTS, baby. MapleStory trading system, all day, every day. Now, there was a system that was exploited out the nose, apparently, but... boss party recruitment system, reorganizing so that the players can look for party. Yeah, I remember that. Okay. Opinions that if a party recruitment system is introduced, it would be good to show Mulong floors and main stats. Sure. Because I think Mulong floors is probably, you know, with all of its faults, probably the best indicator that we can have to see what is someone capable of. It's inconvenient to have to personally buy a megaphone to recruit for a party, so recruitment... Yeah, true. A system that automatically matches users who meet the minimum entry specs. Ursus matching. Yeah, the problem is just if you're in a server that's not very full, you still need, I don't know, man. There should be like public sign-up sheets or something. I don't know. How do you do this when you're trying to, like... When you're trying to queue for PvP or something in WoW, you just throw up that you're queuing, right? And then you go do something else, and then if you match with someone, then boom, they send you there. So you could like set yourself actively into a role of yes, I'm willing to boss, and then a bunch of other people that are also yes, I'm willing to boss will be in the same list, and then you can just see if you can make a party with these people. I wonder how you do this without integrating like a better communication system in general, because all of these things are so much easier to make outside of the game. I think because this game is so grind heavy on the training, I think that's so hard to do. On a game where leveling is not the focus, this is fine, because you can just go do something else, interrupt it, and go back to it. But when it's training, you can't be like, oh, I'm gonna list myself, and then go train, and then be like, oh yeah, I'll just drop all my experience coupons, my whole setup, and I'll drop my totem, and then go do this one boss, and then go back. Right? No, like that doesn't work. So because of the character of the game, it's going to be really difficult to come up with a system where that can work. A public board where the leader can choose members who they can accept. The instance drop who will kill Helix carries for sure. No one want to give up their chance of getting superior equips. No, for instance, we mean that like the general drops that everyone loots anyway, but those just are able to be automatically looted, and that the pets don't like run over everything and don't take anything. Because right now, if you do that, like if you loot and you have your pet out, the only thing it loots, what does it loot? It loots power elixir, I think, and soul shards. Is that it? Oh, and the boss crystal, right? Other than that, everything else you have to manually loot, which is horrible. We're just in the worst. I would almost take pet loot lag back over this. Like, I've been just soloing Hardhilla for the last weeks just because I don't want to deal with all of the bullshit of having to manually loot everything. It's just not worth my time. Final Fantasy, there is a board called Party Finder, and you can list that you want a specific fight, dungeon, etc., and people can join your party. The problem is that you'll just have to sit there and just wait and hope that people show up. And that's the huge problem. Because people are used to playing this game solo, and this is a very grind-heavy game, so you can't just sit there. Like, how long are you going to sit there? 5 minutes? 10 minutes? And half an hour? Like, you could be playing and getting crazy rates, right? But yeah. Okay, but it seems like there's no negatives for that. Please increase the rewards from top-tier bosses. A request for additional rewards, and add a ceiling system for each boss's unique items, guaranteed reward items, and the pitch boss set items. The issue where top-tier bosses' rewards are too low, leading to CRA mules needs to be changed. I disagree with that part. We already talked about that yesterday. Opinions that additional cosmetic items, e.g. damage tokens, name tags, rings that don't... Maybe he saw our post... no, he's just kidding. That don't affect specs should be added as rewards. Sure, I don't care about the cosmetic rewards myself, but if other people want that, sure. Guaranteed rewards from the top tier hard bosses are required to motivate players. In some way, there needs to be some kind of pity system that has people can have a backup plan. Yeah, I do agree with that. Opinions that cash items like additional cubes, there's bonus potential cubes, black cubes should be added as rewards. Sure, maybe. Opinions that the rewards would become more meaningful if upgrading the pitch boss and arcana items was more feasible. Well, yeah, that's something that the other guys also talked about, right? About like dropping the chance for boom, allowing to safeguard higher, maybe, for the downside of not being able to get multiples of items at the same time. Opinions that after defeating a top tier boss, there will be a chance for a shop NPC to appear that sells good items at cheap prices. Certainly, prices cannot be cheap. Only items can be cheap. Which makes the prices low. What kind of items, though? I mean, that would be the... Also, what's really annoying is if you have those kind of shops when there's a party, and then the items in the shop are all shared. So whoever just clicks it first gets like buys the item immediately, and then everyone else is kind of like, well, I would have liked that too, but I guess it's outmatched. Next on stream? Oh yeah, the next on stream. True. So yeah. So I'm not sure. But yeah, no cheap prices. Opinions that additional cubes, bonus potential cubes that can be used up to epic rank should be added as rewards. Yeah, a lot of this is non-reboot stuff, yeah. So unless we get to the specific reboot stuff, I guess a lot of things I kind of have to just be like, well, okay, yeah, maybe, I guess. But I don't really know the details about all of that stuff. But yeah, that's a problem, Fire Scotches. That wouldn't work in MapleStory. And I think it works in Final Fantasy and WoW because those are not grind games. Like, you don't pick like a bunch of buffs for 2 hours and then go grind monsters for 2 hours. And that's the way you level up and grind and make income. That's not how those games work. But for MapleStory it is. If you would register for something, you're not going to sit there for half an hour doing absolutely nothing. Like, you might do a few other dailies, right? But most of the time, you're not going to sit there and be like, well, okay, I guess I'm just going to just wait. Because either you're in a bossing setup or you're in your training setup and you're like doing one or you're doing the other. There's not enough content to kind of like fill the gaps as you're just waiting for parties to fill up. We don't have the player base for that. So I don't think that kind of stuff can work. We should definitely look at other games and see what they do and see if that can apply to us. But I don't think those examples specifically, I don't think they can... I don't know how that would work, but it'd be cool if we can, piggyback off some other games' achievements and kind of yoink them and have them work for us. But I don't know how that system would help. Hourly waiting rooms like flag raise for bosses. Well, but there would be something extra necessary where we kind of add extra value to be like, if you queue at this hour, you get better boss rewards or something, and then everyone would be queuing at that time, and then you'd find parties like nothing, like nobody's business, right? You'd be like, oh, if you do bosses between this hour and this hour, you double the chances of the pitch boss items or something. Well, then everyone is going to be queuing at that time and going to be forming parties. And you also see a lot more struggle parties for people who are just like willing to give it a go and willing to try during those times. So that could be something, I think. But well, every boss would have to have like a pre-boss room, kind of like Ursus, yeah, and have something that makes it easier to set up on making a party. It needs to be changed so that you can only get rewards if you deal more than a certain amount of damage. No. Because like a Kana who has like perfect mechanics, but again, they don't have any Kanas, I guess, but a Kana who has perfect mechanics but doesn't deal any damage and brings domain and does everything perfectly will probably be carrying the party, even if they don't do any damage themselves. That doesn't mean that they shouldn't get any rewards. Because the current acquired rewards are sufficient. Like, if Nexon had a kind of system in place where they could accurately gauge how much contribution a party member did to overall, then I would be okay with that. But I don't think I trust Nexon to build a system like that would be reliable. So yeah. Yeah, because it hurts supports. Opinions that the currently acquired rewards are sufficient as boss rewards. Okay, okay. These are the people who've gotten their drops, by the way. These are the people who haven't gotten their drops. Opinions that characters who clear top tier bosses don't agree as they are getting enough money. Yeah, these are the people who are like, I don't want other people catching up to me, is basically the thing. Recognize the maps and the way the boss rooms that have random mobs. Remove the sections where you must defeat regular monsters on the way to entering a boss. Maps that don't have monsters but you must move through before entering a boss like Pink Bean need to be improved too. Yeah, like walking to Ark every time and walking to Pink Bean every time, like just, I get it for the pre-quest, but like for the boss queue, just put me right on the door where the boss is. Don't put me like 3 maps before and then I still have to walk through 3 maps. That's so weird. Previously, you can skip these sections where you must defeat random monsters if you defeat a certain boss. The random monster sections before that entry are necessary to some extent when they're not excessive like normal sickness. It's nice to stack certain skills before entering a boss, so removing them is unnecessary. Yeah, some people need to stack buffs. That's kind of true. Yeah. I don't know, if you just give the ability to teleport right up to the door, and then someone can just stack before and then queue up to the... I think that's the fix. You just make the queue go right up into the door where you actually enter the boss portal. Where necessary, where possible, of course. Like for Varicella, you still have the maze, of course, so... Was there people who want to slow down other people's progression and not speed it up? Well, because speeding it up is not necessarily better. Faster is not necessarily better, and slower is not necessarily worse. And some people just want to do it because they had to suffer and they want other people to suffer. But I'm hoping that that's a minority of people. Convenience are worse because you need to get the anal bead. Yeah, also true. Why not they go to the left and stack? Yeah, but if you can boss queue, then you can stack wherever you want in like a regular map, and then use the boss queue and immediately go there and be instantly at the door. I think that's the best of both worlds, personally. Please improve the method to acquire pitch boss items. The drop rates will be higher in the party when the number of party members decreases. I agree. It is necessary to introduce a ceiling system for pitch boss items like Magnus coins. If the items are acquired through the ceiling system are said to be untradeable, the market price will not be affected. It would be good if all party members acquired them, even if the drop rate had to be set a little lower. Disagree, since there are support classes, changing the drop rate based on number of attackers would be negative, of course. Opinions that anyone said the attackers, right? Just the number of party members. But oh, because supports... Well, but you know that being a support. Being a support, you know that you're not going to be soloing things as much as other people, right? But if other people are stronger and they can solo, then they can take you, and then they don't need the drop anymore, and then you can be number one in the drop in the party, right? Oh no, they're talking about a 1-to-1 making it depend on how many people are in there, yeah. Dude, that's also tricky because there's so many moving pieces. Like, do you go by how well people do, or do you go how well people's characters are supposed to be doing? Like, I don't know. Opinions that if the acquisition method needs to be improved, it would be better to just increase the drop rate of pitched boss items. Opinions that changing tradable items to be individual rewards would have significant side effects. Yeah, a lot of this is like non-reboot side effects, so I do agree with like some of that stuff in there. Most of the stuff, I guess. But there needs to be some kind of pity system, some kind of coin system so that you can just eventually get them after you've done the run for a while, and not just be, well, some people just never get it. It's like, then is it even in the game? Then according to those people, just not in the game, it's not accessible. Character growth, experience, reorganization. Okay, hopefully they have some good shit here. Maybe more of my ideas we'll see floating around here. Please greatly increase the number of pet buff slots. That's a weird thing to start off with. Request to increase the number of pet skill slots so that more buff skills can... I didn't even know there was a limit on pet skills. Is there a limit on that? I thought you could just like scroll down and you could just teach every pet everything. Is that not true? I don't really work with pet skills, so I guess that's a bad assumption on my part. If it is difficult to make skills into passives, then we hope... Oh, you mean allow Right. To allow the pet to auto-buff you more. Right, okay. Difficult to make skills into passives, then we hope that it can be improved by increasing the number of pet buff slots. We hope that it can be improved so that the 5th job buff skills can be added to pet buffs. Yeah, because everyone's using all the decents, and that takes up a lot of room. Just make the decent skills go into a macro, and make the macro go into the pet buff. I mean, that's just the next logical step. So you can have up to 9 buffs going automatically. That way we can finally free up some keys on our keyboard as well and actually use our attacking skills. Would be a good idea to release the cache item that adds pet buff skills. That could also be a thing they do, of course. I disagree. If it's made excessively convenient, then it may cause an increase in automatic hunting. Maybe, I guess. Maybe botters will have an easier time. I don't know. Buff usage is also... I mean... But why would Nexon care? All of those people are spending money, and then if they catch them, they can still ban them. And then get the money and the ban. Win-win. Buff usage is also one of the fun elements of the game, so I don't think making it excessively automatic is right. There'll still be a limit, right? For some classes, they might get to the limit where they can actually use all the buffs automatically, but for a bunch of them, you'll still have to use your hyper skills at the right time, your 5th job buffs at the right time, and maybe some other like external buffs that you will have to time properly. I think this is okay. I do get it though, because like there's a reason something is a buff and it's not a passive. It's not like to make the game more annoying for you. It's to temporarily give you, either temporarily give you more damage if it's not 100% uptime, or to give you more damage at the expense of having to work for it a little bit by pressing a button, right? And some things should have a cost, right? Making everything free is not always a good idea. Same like with college and with healthcare, right? This feature will be abused by botters as a bad defense. Well, how about this will turn the game more and more into a mobile game where everything is just like going automatically. Which is like essentially the same argument, but kind of like a different reason given for it, but it's like the same level of argument. I don't know, I can kind of see that. Link skill slots requested to expand the number of link skill slots as new jobs are added and the number of link skills is increased. Yeah, just because you have access to more links doesn't mean that therefore we should be able to equip more. I don't know if this is like this is an actual argument. When the number of new jobs increases, the number of link skill slots should also be increased to motivate Legion growth. I mean, I feel if anything, it gives you more chances to min-max in your Legion. What I think this means is if you get more link skills access, being able to switch more, I think that's one thing, and the other thing is getting presets for link skills. That, I think, is the should because of getting more links. Not necessarily because there's more, now we should be able to equip more. I don't follow that logic. Opinions to release link skill expansion items in Meso Shop, Cash Shop. Oh, making it pay to win to... I mean, I hope they mean Meso Shops for reboot and then Cash Shop for non-reboot. Pay to win access to more link skills? We're putting a Lucid Soul on my Kana's Haku fan. Allow me to use the Lucid Soul skill? I believe no. I'm not 100%, but I think the Soul skill on your Haku weapon does not activate, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe someone in chat can verify that. Disagree. Opinions that are concerned adding link skills could break down balance. Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Selling link skill expansion to Cash Shop would promote excessive spending. I mean, people are literally dropping like tens of thousands of dollars just upgrading like their WSE. If they had to spend like $5 to get access to more link skills, I don't know if that's excessive. That seems like a pretty weak argument. It just depends on how much the price is. Like, it's not going to be like $200 per link skill slot or something, right? Opinions that are disappointed in link skills are being standardized recently. Opinions that are disappointed? Link skills are being standardized recently. Right, yeah, the argument of, well, the link skills exist, so you should be able to always use them. But then it's basically like a Legion passive buff again. I like the fact that those systems are different and that they come at different costs to use them. And that gives them their own character. I like that. And I'm pretty sure that that's what the disagree is here. And I think they do try to make the link skills a little bit different. Except now they all have like these weird conditionals for triggering. I don't know, why don't you just make one that says like, that gives you like 80 or like 100 elemental resistance or something. No, not elemental resistance, what's the other one? Status resistance. Then you can start doing the math and being like, okay, this actually helps me with the survivability a lot. Or something that says like, every 30 seconds has blocks 5% of the damage, including 100% HP skill, you know? Some types of utility that actually matter in this game. Not like the pirate link skill that has like blocks 10% damage A +1 attack speed link. There's so many more things that you could do with the link skills. They could diversify them more, yeah. Maybe that's what they mean with being standardized, I'm not sure. I mean, the last ones we've gotten was one was damage on bosses, one was damage on mobbing, one was damage all around, but it is a lot of percentage damage going on, true. But remember, we're gonna like all that percentage damage once our reboot passive changes to final damage, so don't be too hard on the percentage damage, okay? Please change the number of times MVP experience coupons can be traded to 1. To prevent the price of MVP experience coupons from increasing through abnormal methods, change them so they can only be traded once and become untradeable once they are traded. Okay. You can just press them by hoarding them, so limiting their trade count is necessary. In addition to experience coupons, we hope this can be applied to other consumable items that are traded a lot. Opinion that it is not right to intervene with prices which are determined naturally by demand. Well, the argument is that it is not natural, right? That people are like monopolizing and that people are buying out and then artificially driving up the price, right? That's the argument. If it was natural, then this wouldn't even be an opinion. So this is bullshit. The changes in prices of MVP experience coupons are due to a drop in demand for MVP charging services rather than merchants. Okay, but that's not an argument for or against this. I think that changing the number of trades will not be very helpful. Wow, that's a super strong argument. I agree with all of these points. It is necessary to shorten the duration of the wealth acquisition potion. This is like the weakest disagree I've ever seen in my life. It is necessary to shorten the duration of the wealth acquisition potion from 2 hours. Yeah, can we make these 1 hour blobs? Yeah, Jack, there's a increase coming of how many times we can switch link skills. That's already live in KMS, and that's like somewhere on the way to GMS. Well, we don't know exactly when. Hopefully not too long from now. Especially for the people who are actively working on their Legion and want to move around a lot. Like how there's 0 disagree opinions. Yeah. Yeah, there's a few with 0 disagree. But yeah, if there's 0 disagree, that's really telling that the whole community is behind it, of course. The necessary shorten duration. Change the wealth acquisition potion duration from 2 hours to a minimum of 30 minutes to 1 hour. Yeah, so it doesn't force users to hunt for long periods of time. I agree, we hope for a change in the duration to reduce the pressure of having to grind for 2 hours. By extension, please, can we finally get different sets of totems, access to more totems and totems with like different flexible durations as well? Maybe with a pause option that if it's not out there, it doesn't deplete. That you have like 24 hours to use it and you can choose when to train with a little bit of flexibility. Because if you had that, if you had the totems that were flexible and you had coupons that you could pause or something like that, then you could also have the recruitment for the bossing system. Because then people could just sign up for the bosses and then be like, okay, I'm going to go train. And then if like 20 minutes in they can find a party, they could just halt on that shit. Switch to some other presets, do the boss, come back, and then restart the links that they had, restart the totem, switch back the other presets, and then just continue training, right? Imagine a world where you could play MapleStory like that. Just make it so you can use it X amount of times, easier to code properly. Yeah, the downside to that is, though, that basically what it forces you to do is wait every single time until it runs out. And then you have like every single time you have a little while when it's not active in the map. And if you don't do that, and if you press it too many times, then you're just completely fucking up how long it can last, and then it'll desync with your buffs again. I don't know if giving it X amount of uses is a good idea. What about if you give it X amount of uses, but you put it on automatic, that it automatically refreshes whenever it's disappeared from the map? Also, if you leave the map and it disappears, and then you have to reuse it on a different map, then it goes under the amount of time as well. I don't know. With every single suggestion people have given on like how we can redo the totems instead to make it like a limited amount of time or a limited amount of uses, I immediately see like a few other problems that can kind of fuck that up. I don't know if there's like a perfect solution for it, but we can keep brainstorming, keep thinking about it, and maybe we'll end up with something that's actually really good. Suggest reorganization so that it doesn't, you don't need to use safety charms below level 200. Remove the experience reduction penalty because characters below level 200 tend to die frequently while adjusting to gameplay. I mean, I mean, yes and no. Like, I mean, this game isn't for like 6-year-olds anymore who like don't want them to have to deal with failure or something. Like, I don't know. Like, where's the line? Where's the line between making it accessible for new players and where's the and where you're just like coddling everyone into like, oh, nothing has any consequences, everything is fine, nothing wrong and nothing bad can happen to you. Everything is super fast and super easy and super. I don't know. New player who plays Night Lord. I think a lot of new classes can get one shot in future Hennessy's if you go to the Nightwalker dudes, because they hit like 4 lines at the same time. They could hit you for like 14k or something and just like dumpster you. They already removed the strongest elite mobs. I remember training in Fez 2 having certain elite mobs that could spawn that would deal 27k damage hits. Like, these things were ruthless. But they've removed those prefix elites, thank God, because and there was also the other one that only took like half damage and that it was almost impossible to kill before they died. But I think that's all more an argument of scaling the content to 200 more properly, rather than changing something like the death penalty or removing all of that. I believe that the penalty duration would go down even when not connected to the game. Yes, please do that. The penalty duration, like, I mean, it's kind of weird though that someone is like, oh, I died, I'm just gonna go do something else and then come back, or going to play another game, play a game of League and then come back, and then the MapleStory debuff will be gone or something. Experience loss when dying, yeah. Death penalty, yeah. Penalty is like a negative effect, and death is a, you know. Disagree. Opinions that safety charms can be purchased with mileage, so it's not a big burden. Yeah, but I think most of the things on this list are not a big burden, but just like tedious, just really tedious. Imagine dying Omega level, stares nervously at the Happy Urda. Yeah, if you have okay funding, you can kill the Happy Urda and like, even on a new character, just like snap of the fingers, walk out. But some classes struggle hardcore for sure. Cross Hunter Shop items reorganization. Cross Hunter Shop. Okay, I don't know what that is. Is that the Crossworld PQ? What is Cross Hunter? Oh, Silent Crusade probably. Cross Hunter? Is that what they call it? Oh my god. Okay. We hope that the mastery books can be changed to be put into storage. Yeah, make those transferable. It's silly to do untransferable mastery books in there. With the equipment required for growth, like shoulders and belts, will be added. If people want to. I mean, on the one hand, they want to add more stuff for those levels, and on the other hand, they also want to make it so that people can progress faster, which are contradictory. Because if you want to make them progress faster, that means it's going to be less necessary for them to have those things. And so why are you going to spend time adding more stuff that just gets skipped by more people, right? Said a little after increasing the supply of water drop stone. Do you mean the boss crystals? Cross Hunter, Pepe Point KMS, that's weird, yeah. Story skip feature creation. Add a story skip feature for users who don't want to watch the story. I think the story skip feature is essential because this is a game where you make a lot of side characters. Complaints that overseas MapleStory servers can skip all stories, but it is not supported in Korean MapleStory. Also, if you don't want to skip the story, tell me if there's voice acting and give me an option to turn on the sound before a story starts. If I want to, so you can click like, hey, this storyline has voice acting, or this storyline has music. Do you want to turn it on or not? And not be like, oh, I guess I'll have to go through the whole thing so I can get to my settings so I can turn it on, but then the whole thing is already over. River droplets. Are you talking about the last KMST update, or what are you talking about? I mean, people in Reboot are always unhappy. And people playing MapleStory in general, not super happy people. Improvements for the different up jumps of each class. Yes! Please unify those things. Request to unify, please. Yes, it is necessary to improve the inconvenience that each job has a different way to jump. We hope that the text will all be improved, like the demon and sickness jobs. Opinions that there could be another type of discrimination for jobs that don't have up jumps. What? I don't get this point. Are they saying then everyone needs to have an up jump? I don't know what they mean exactly. But yeah, unify the up jumps. Also, radical idea. While we're on the topic of jumping, radical idea: make down jump actually work. I know. Thank you. I can hear the applause in the background. People going. Yeah, I know. But yeah, I would like to down jump and then actually the game down jumping me. Anyone who's ever done Spirit Savior ever? Yes, that. Okay, please increase the lower range of VAC pets. Request to extend the VAC pets item and meso acquisition range. I heard something that they were already doing that, but in some cases they don't loot items that are directly below them, so it needs to be fixed. It means that they are concerned that if the lower range is increased, jobs that can hunt in one spot will become macroers. Yeah, man, they really, they really don't want that to happen, huh, in KMS? But again, this is because non-reboot and because trade and because that affects people, right? Reboot, it's like, yeah, whatever. LC Fuji Apple? I think it did. You don't receive drops from elite bosses if they appear during the Rune's Curse Stage 4. Yeah, that's really weird. You see like an elite boss, you go there, you kill it, and then you don't get anything because there happened to be a rune on the map. It's like... It's like, okay, that's just so silly. Pages hope that this issue will be more visible, as sometimes you don't realize the Rune's Curse is active. Yeah, and it's like the same color as the elite and everything. It's happened to me a few times. It's so silly. Reorganize discussion board opinions. TN? T's nuts. I won't be translating this part, but if you're interested, you can see the full page here. Oh god. Reorganize discussion board. That's just opinions on the discussion board itself. I agree that that's kind of not really what we are wanting to look at. If that leads to better input and to the input being able to be selected for better, then I agree with all of this, okay? Without even reading it. Most still think here. And now the developer comments about the first discussion topics. Okay, let's see what the developers have to say about all of this. In order to improve the various situations which are going to be solved in the current MapleStory, we have requested the opinions, set what topics, put the discussion board and the advisory group, give a variety of in-depth opinions. I'd like to express our gratitude for all players that think about MapleStory's future. Individual answers for each opinion will be telling you about the summarized development direction that was decided after reviewing all the opinions. We've been focusing on the direction. Okay, so this is like the real deal. This is like looking at everything that everyone said, both the advisory group and the player base, and then looking at what general direction they are moving into. So some of these things will probably be like, we're doing this next week, we're doing this next patch, and some of these will be like, we're looking at this in the coming months, and some of these will be like, we'll take it under advisement, but we don't have any plans of doing this at the given time, right? That'll basically be what that will be all about. Time to AFK and flag race for guild points. Cool beans. Cool. Boss reward reorganization. How many points is this? Jesus. Okay. I think we can get through this. Boss rewards reorganization direction is focused on two things: suppressing meso-inflation and providing a goal to challenge high-tier bosses by providing rewards that match the boss's difficulties. While group rewards are fixed, level growth increases, difficulty of defeating a boss becomes relatively low, reversing the efficiency of boss rewards in specific sections. So this issue, we are developing a system where the selling price of intense power crystals changes dynamically by measuring all users' boss clears and difficulty indicators each week. Oh god, please let that be a non-reboot only thing. Expect that boss rewards will be more reasonable than they are now, but a sudden change in the amount of mesos acquired can have a big impact on the game economy. So the intense power crystal price changes will be set to be within a maximum of 3% per week. do they mean that they're going to slowly increase it to a certain number, but they're doing it gradually so that they don't just flood the market with like double the mesos from one week to the other? Or experience of requiring mileage will also be improved. So mileage is reward points. Reward points you get from defeating daily bosses will be slightly decreased, but the mileage you get from defeating weekly and monthly bosses will be greatly increased. For one, a lot of the weekly bosses and monthly bosses, I think, in the game don't even have any reward points right now. So even a 1 would be an infinity % increase. So I don't know what they mean with greatly increased. The reward points given from a certain weekly monthly bosses will be expended to be given from all weekly monthly bosses. Daily bosses will give 30, weekly bosses will give 200, and Black Mage will give 1,000. The daily maximum mileage amount will increase from 5,000 to 10,000 accordingly. Okay. A lot of extra reward points from bossing. Interesting. That will give access to more totems for us, of course. Other than that, tradable consumable items will be added to rewards to increase the level of reward based on boss difficulty. In addition to Rebirth Flames, things like experience will be added to rewards. I wonder what that means exactly, but things like experience coupons, incredible chaos scrolls of goodness, premium accessory scrolls, premium pet equipment scrolls, and magical scrolls will be added to enhance boss rewards. Cool. So Reboot only gets flames then, I guess? For the pitch boss set, which is one of the current top tier boss rewards, we are not reviewing the addition of a ceiling system or significantly increasing the drop rate to reduce the acquisition difficulty. Slight increase in drop rate may be reflected depending on future circumstances. But at least for the rest of this year, it will remain at its current level without any changes. Many of the reasons why players are interested in the pitch boss set is because they are used as proof of why highest tier bosses level rewards are too low. So together with the boss rewards organization direction described above, will increase the higher tier boss rewards level step by step. For non-reboot, sure, but you have to have a completely different outlook for this for reboot. Not having trade at all that needs to be addressed individually. You can't just blanketly say, no, we think it's fine. Because, like, it isn't. For non-reboot, you can make the argument, like, well, reboot, if you care about the item enough, then just spend your money on it, right? But for reboot, it's just... Some people get a lucky drop, get lucky on star forcing, and have, like, a 22-star pitch boss item, and someone else can just, 3 years later, still not have one. This is unironically possible. In non-reboot, that's not possible. It just means that you have to reallocate your funds, right? You see, I deserve the drop because I've worked harder than you, yeah. But okay, that's an interesting response. We have not considered a way to use up items to control their supply and demand yet. First, we'll observe the effects of the overall boss rewards reorganization. The development team thinks that boss rewards should be determined based on the boss's level of difficulty, and if you defeat the same boss, the total amount of rewards should be the same. Some think that since it is more difficult to defeat a boss solo than a 6-man party, the total amount of rewards should be increased, and conversely, the lower amount of... Yeah, however many others would find this unreasonable, this would be the noobs, because they can never get to the point where they can be that strong. We think that the core problem is that although bosses have differences in difficulty, the difference in reward based on difficulty are not big enough. As Scardor buff, we expect that this will be gradually improved by adding tradable items as rewards to match the difficulty, and by adding a system that changes the intense power crystals price based on difficulty. So they went from taking the flames away from bosses to adding flames again to bosses. That's genius. Fucking genius. In order to prevent problems when distributing boss rewards, we are preparing an option to set the party's reward acquisition permissions to all or party leader only. In addition, we are planning to change certain bosses' individual rewards to shared rewards. Wait, change certain bosses' individual rewards to shared rewards? No, if anything, we wanted to take shared things and make them individual. You're moving in the wrong direction. It could be possible to solve the distribution problem. I mean, I get this part. Like, if someone is the one who gets the loot that week, you just make them party leader, and then they can just do auto loot. If they have priority loot for the pitch boss item for that week, I guess. But changing individual rewards into shared rewards, that's like moving in the wrong direction. That's just gonna be so annoying. Could it be possible to solve the distribution problem by changing all current shared rewards to individual rewards? Yes, but if this were to be done, then the drop rate would be lowered by the number of party members, and so the variance in the reward acquisition experience could increase. No, the variance would go down because everyone would always... It would only decrease if someone was a yoinker and always stole everything. It would increase in general, and people would have to do less effort for it because everyone will now evenly get 1/6. Which means it should, on average, it would stay exactly the same. The only people that go down for is the people who yoink all the drops. Or fuck those people. Therefore, the development team's big goal is not to make boss rewards into individual rewards, but in consideration of bosses' unique characteristics or existing experiences, certain bosses will maintain their individual rewards. Oh, God. Reboot World's intense power crystal selling price will be increased from 3x to 5x. So, that's huge. Remember that in GMS we have 6x for Meso Drop. I've already messaged Ghibli to just, you know, make sure to make a point of if that's coming to GMS, we'll be getting 6x. That's of course way too early because this is now in the announcement. You know, announcement of the thing, and I think it's also in these patch notes, I think, which is still in Tespia, so like it's more than 6 months out. So, you know, it'll probably come out as 5x, I think, and then a few months after that, maybe they'll just review it and put it on 6x. That's going to be my guess. But it's still mind-blowing to me why that wasn't there from the start. Everything multiplied by 6, cool. Oh, bosses give crystals now, cool. How much does Reboot get? Oh, we get 3 times that amount. Why? And we never get an answer to that. If we get an answer to the why, I can be, you know, then we have something to go off of, but we just don't get an answer. That's just the number. Deal with it. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, that's amazing. That's cool, I guess. Yeah, nice, cool, fun. Good times. So yeah. But that's memes. That's pretty cool. But apparently that's coming with a limit of the boss crystals that you can sell per week as well. So careful with that. Boss accessibility improvements. Trigger boss UI removes an existing matching feature. Nobody. I don't think I've ever used the matching feature a single time in GMS ever. That's just doesn't happen. You solo everything or you make a party beforehand. There's no feature to recruit party members. We're thinking the need for a boss party member recruitment feature that's greatly increased after Neo update, in particular since the proportion of boss clears has increased. The development team is preparing. The proportion of boss clears has increased. So more people are clearing bosses than ever. So we think that demand for recruiting people has increased? If your bosses are getting cleared more, that means that people need the feature less, right? Am I crazy here? They're basically saying it's easier for people to clear bosses, which means that there's more demand for people to find each other to clear bosses. I'm so confused. More runners, more way to create parties? Well, they don't say more runners, they say more clears, which means more people who are capable of running without a party. And if people are capable of running without a party, then why would they need a party? Like, there's so many more things they could have said. They could have said more people are playing the game, more people are attempting the bosses. These would directly relate to a feature helping, but more people are clearing the bosses is the opposite of more people need the feature, in my opinion. But just because bosses are cleared more doesn't mean it's easier. It could mean simply more bosses. Yeah, I know, but it definitely also doesn't mean that there are now more people who need a boss feature because they're already clearing the boss. I see a lot of other arguments that you could use to come to the conclusion they need this system, but this argument isn't one, in my opinion. But it could be something missing in translation. Yeah, maybe. Development team is preparing an improved party matching system. The improved party matching system will not simply form a party with another characters that can enter, but it will match party members based on the highest chance of clearing using character specs and past play history. So it's going to put all the strongest people together to make the easiest parties, and then all the weak people are going to be left behind? Is what this sounds like. We're currently researching this, and the introduction schedule will be announced separately when it becomes more concrete. Really interested how they're going to do that, because I can already see, as you just heard, like a lot of possible issues with that. So I'll be really interested to see how they're going to go about making that and introducing that. As a semantic discussion? No, that's like saying... okay, we see more and more people... we see more and more people consuming bananas, so we need to improve the way with which we get the bananas to the people. But it's like, why? People are already finding the bananas and are already eating them at record numbers. So why do you need to improve that? If you say people are increasingly hungry and are looking for bananas, then you need to improve the way you bring bananas to people, right? It's not like, it's not semantics, it's the deductive logic, I think, doesn't follow. Like, the premise doesn't support the conclusion, I think. Why bananas kick W? Because I'm looking at a banana right in front of me. Because I can't stop thinking about eating huge bananas, Flamer, that's why. But yeah, I'll be interested to see how this feature turns out and how they actually implement that. It would be very interesting. Fourth build slot unlocked, Gratz did. We're planning to gradually expand the ability to choose whether or not to do boss pre-quests and quests required to enter content based on if you have already cleared them before in the same world. Choose? Well, I'm going to choose not to. Improvements were made in the past for bosses that had difficult to obtain entry materials, right? And in this August update, we are planning to apply changes to normal sickness entry materials to make them easier to get. Okay, so that was already in the works. To make it easier to get the materials, right? It will be improved in the August update so that after defeating a boss, you can exit by pressing the up arrow key like other portals. Okay, cool. In March, the exit method, so only after you kill the boss. Okay, that makes sense. In March, but then again, you want to make sure you loot everything first. But I think that's probably the best of both worlds. Easy fix, I guess, if they can do that. In March, the exit method of all boss portals was changed to prevent mistakes and maintain a sense of unity. We were concerned that there would be additional confusion if we applied the different exit method based on the clear status of the boss, but we confirmed that many players still prefer the old play method of exiting bosses using the up arrow key. That's also just muscle memory of going to the portal and just pressing up. And then if that changes, your muscle memory just keeps kicking in, you know? Plan to changes you can do after the boss is defeated. Cool! Alright, character growth. So already a lot of stuff they're admitted that they're going to be working on or they're going to implement or they're going to develop, you know, so that we'll have to wait until that comes in. I think it's one of the situations of justifying a system's change by whatever means necessary. Well, yeah. I think there could be good arguments, but I don't think that was one, but yeah. Since it's difficult for new and returning players to experience and become familiar with the various content in the game, we will continue to improve this going forward. We will make it easier to adapt to the game with game guides that use more videos. Okay. We are planning a major overhaul of the Maple Guides base system, guide missions, and rewards with a goal of applying it by this winter. Oh, shit. These guys are watching my stream, too. In addition, we will review the application method and timing of providing medals and titles for new users. Okay. Wild idea. When there's a new area, stop giving us medals and titles that give like +3 stat and +1 weapon and magic attack. Okay? It's fucking dog shit. Alright? Either give no stats whatsoever and just be honest that you're just giving them for anvils for medals, or have them have actual stats that can give us a little bit more. Alright? One of the two. But the sickness key is just that you do it every week on multiple characters, even over and over. Yeah, it's tedious. Very tedious. We will make improvements to the growth path and the quest path to reduce inconvenience, and in the development process we will reorganize it so that you can enjoy a variety of growth paths. Cool. In the Legion growth process, we hope to reduce the negative experience of having to repeat the same entry quest repeatedly by expanding the per world skip feature to apply to already completed every entry quests. Okay. After checking this change in character growth, we will also consider introducing a feature that lets you skip or speed up story cutscenes and dialogue. Cool shit. Please do that. Because this game has so much stuff in it. Just let us skip through if we've already done it. I think it's very, very cool and important, somewhat even necessary, to do a lot of the things on your first playthrough. I think that's important. But once you've done it once, please don't force us to sit through that again. I don't think this should ever be a thing. We're trying to improve the situations. Oh, sorry. Hunting experience improvements and hunting ground improvements. Trying to improve this abilities different based on your job by adjusting skills and diversifying the type of maps and monsters to expand the number of optimized hunting grounds available for different job characteristics. Don't do that. Oh my god. You know how much work it's going to take to make new leveling guides? Actually, finally make a leveling guide video. And we can get our 1 million views, guys. So with the addition of hunting grounds and stages in the second half of the year, and job improvement process mentioned above, we will adjust each job's different mobility and operation methods to provide a more standardized operating experience and user experience. Okay. In order to prevent excessive differences in the number of buff skills used by each job, we are planning to expand the number of pet buffs per pet from 1 to 2. Aha. So up to 6 pet buffs in total. This will be reflected in the August update, but the number of pet buffs will be expanded to 2 even for existing pets with the pet of a buff skill without additional charges. We considered allowing skill macro hotkeys to be put in pet buffs, but since skill macros could include attacking skills in addition to buffs, there were many other things to consider. Wait, people do that? They put like a buff and attack and then another buff? Oh yeah, you do that for Shadower, right? To build up your passive with the crit rate and stuff. I mean, can't you just give a pop-up to be like macros, like pet macros cannot include attacking skills or something, and then boom. Like why is that not the fix? Why is this you know? I always wonder why they whenever they have an obstacle, they seem to pick the worst fix to get past the obstacle, but happens so many times, but okay. We settled on a method that could be introduced more quickly. Right, maybe they're still working on the other feature and they'll implement that eventually, maybe. Maybe this is just a temporary fix. We confirmed that the experience penalty after dying had a negative effect on the current growth experience. Definitely. That was one of the worst changes. In the August update, we will significantly reduce its duration. For below level 200, the duration will be fixed to 5 minutes, and for level 200 and higher, the duration will be halved. I still don't, I dislike the whole idea and the concept of the buff, but okay. Burning Master introduced to reduce the difference between popular and unpopular hunting grounds. Yeah, therefore the usage of hunting grounds was low, but stopped burning map stages from increasing to prevent all hunting grounds. Yeah. However, the current actual hunting ground usage time and the time when the burning map stages stop increasing don't match, and we plan to adjust this in the August update. As stated in the guide on the homepage, the burning stage increase currently stops from 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. on the next day. Wait, really? That's a 10-hour duration where it just doesn't burn? We will change this from 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. In addition, starting from the next event, we will adjust the times for events that don't take place at late nights or early mornings to match actual participation records. Yes, please this, but also please God, let this have a positive effect on GMS effects. Because the time zones and GMS effects are sometimes like, okay, oh cool, there's 3 sessions of an hour. Okay, when is the first one? Okay, okay, 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. Okay, I can't make that one. Okay, what's the next one? 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Okay, I can't make that one. And then what's the next one? 11:30 p.m. to like the 30 minutes past midnight. Oh, wait, that's the... Oh, that sucks. Like, depending on where you are, I don't know how... Yeah, like the DMT time. Yeah, like, it's almost impressive to pick times that horrible. Like, if you would do your best to pick times that match for no one, I don't think you could actually find something that's worse, but... So, does anyone know, is this like a legal thing that they have to do? Or are they like required by law to make it so that they discourage people playing in the middle of the night? Because I know that the gaming stuff in Korea is pretty strict. And I'm pretty sure people under a certain age aren't even allowed on the internet. They have like a curfew, right? But I mean, it's going down from a 10-hour period to an 8-hour period plus... Yeah, the child safety laws, whatever that's called. Yeah, could this be part of that? Couldn't they just give more time slots or just do it the entire day? Yeah, I think that's possible, but how will you tap into the FOMO if you give people the freedom to do things when they want to, though? It's really hard to tap into FOMO that way, and FOMO is so strong, dude. It's one of the strongest motivators. Because we could just kick her... Because the worst part about FOMO is that if you don't do it, you don't blame the thing that's trying to exploit your FOMO, but you blame yourself. And it's just... dude, it's so many levels of genius. Because not only are you, like, forcing people to force themselves to do it, but then if they don't do it, they're going to blame themselves and not you, so you get off scot-free. FOMO is fear of missing out. It's basically if I tell you, like, hey, if you fly to my house right now, I'll give you $1 million. And you'll immediately start thinking, like, okay, how much can it possibly cost to arrange that? It's like, oh, shit, now I have to do it, right? So I'm preying on your FOMO there. I'm preying on, like, an intrinsic motivation that you have to see that that's a good decision to make, and then to force yourself to do it. And then if you don't do it, I can be like, well, I mean, I gave you the option, and you'll just feel really bad that you didn't go, because now you don't get the benefit of having come over here and collecting that sweet 1 milli, right? All right, what next? Elite monsters are returned to be defeated as soon as possible after they appear, but they have like 100 times the HP of the regular monster. Believe that the current elite monster's duration from spawn to disappearance is not too short and will maintain it. It's only 2 minutes, right? Those 2 minutes are over so fast, but okay. Afterwards, we will observe any changes in the number of cleared elite monsters compared to their spawn and confirm that there are any needed. So this was in conjunction with a complaint, I guess, that people had, but they added more value to the drop of elite monsters, but in a lot of people's situations they can't even kill them fast enough, so they can't get to those rewards. So they were asking to extend the duration of them being spawned, so people have more time to kill them. In the process of growing characters below level 200, we will improve other hunting grounds to alleviate the issue of specific hunting grounds being overcrowded. And when improving the Maple Guide system, we will increase the level range you can teleport to areas to reduce the inconvenience of moving to different maps. What could also be cool is that if you're doing a certain quest for the Maple Guide, you get like a bonus, like a training bonus in a certain area. That way you can kind of divide people who are actively doing content in the game and people who are just like turning their brain off and just grinding their ass off. That way you can just like already split up those people and only need half the room for both people. That could work, I think. But again, that's just like a thing that just came to my mind. That could be horrible. I don't know. We're planning to add new areas for level 280 and higher. I mean, I don't know why they would even say this and why people would even ask for that. Of course they are. Like, of course they're actively working on getting higher level areas, getting new bosses, getting new power creep. Like, that's always under construction. It's kind of weird that they would like ask for that, to be like, oh, are we getting new stuff? We're like, oh no, we're just planning on leaving the current high areas as the highest ever. Even when the level cap goes up to 600, we're just not adding any. Like, of course they are, right? We're in a situation where we considered what we should prioritize and focus on. Yeah. And of course, leveling at these higher level areas is so slow that you don't have to shit out that new content as quickly. But of course, you know, they did remove the penalty, I think, right? From being too many levels above the monsters that you're killing. At least in the meantime, so that people don't get horribly punished for training too hard. Between adding a new higher level areas and reorganizing the growth path and enhancing stories, we will talk about this again when our direction becomes clearer. I mean, obviously the answer is that you need separate teams that work on all things at the same time. But like reorganizing the growth path for new players is very important, especially when you shit the bed this hard and you need to hardcore focus on getting new players into the game that haven't been completely jaded and have gotten like disappointed by how you've been running your game. There are a lot of people who do daily quests in the evening and do the daily quests again after 12 noon. That's very common in GMS as well, yeah, because of the reset for PST. Works well. Like, people come home, do their dailies, wait for reset, do their dailies again, and then peace out. In Korea, children under the age of 15 cannot access the game between 12 a.m. and 6 a.m. Oh, under the age of 15. Okay, I think that's honestly that's pretty good. I think, because if by that age they already start doing that by themselves, you just fuck yourself so hard in the long run. God, it's so bad for your like your drive and your ethos. It's so your work ethic. It's so bad. Not ethos, ethic. We have confirmed that the level 250 section of the hunting grounds, which were not adjusted in the new update, was alleviated to some extent by adding the new limit area. Additional adjustments for the level 250 section will be made. Yeah, because they were specifically saying that areas around 250 were not being touched, right? Finding a party and hunting together is one of the important elements of the RPG. However, MapleStory's sizes of the hunting grounds have gradually decreased, and the ranges of skills have increased over a long period of time. Size of the hunting ground have gradually decreased. I mean, you do know morass is an area, right? Those maps are like continents, but okay. I guess in general the maps have gotten smaller. Also, the maps seem smaller because the monsters in some of them are huge. Like the spiders in Esfera are gigantic. You just put all those in there and the map looks tiny because it's like filled to the brim with monsters. But I digress, okay. The point where the most hunting grounds are most efficient when you're hunting alone. Since many players have experiences in playing like this for a long time, we do not plan to drastically change the played experience for party hunting currently. Okay, but nobody's asking you to change it so that everyone will have to party. What we're asking is an alternative so that if people choose to party, it's not horrible compared to soloing. That's the only thing people are asking for, right? We plan on enhancing the fun of party play through boss content and party-only content. In addition, although not immediately, we will review improvements to cross-world party quests in the long term, including measures against bad manners. Wow. They're addressing this specifically because that was one of the points brought up by the user advisory group, I believe. So, okay, so not... I mean, kind of a hard no on what I think I would like, but like a maybe on some stuff that maybe has party play. I don't know if they mean like a PQ for extra symbols in Morass and Esfera, if that's going to be party content, I'm not sure. And like if adding a new boss means more party play, I hope they don't mean that. But okay. As mentioned in previous developer comments on the discussion board, increasing the number of link skill slot requires more review to consider overall balance. Yep. In addition, if the duration of the wealth acquisition potion is decreased from the current 2 hours to 1 hour or 30 minutes, meso inflation could intensify due to the increase in the amount of wealth acquisition potions used and their overall time. Therefore, we ask for your understanding that we are not planning to shorten the duration. Okay. But again, does that mean that we can do it for reboot? Because we're getting a lot of non-reboot answers that I guess I can accept for non-reboot. But what about for reboot? Like, we don't have those things. If trade is not in the equation whatsoever, if economy is not in the equation whatsoever, why is there no additional answer for reboot? Because this reason does not apply to reboot, right? So you haven't given a reason as to why you don't want to do this for reboot. So I want more from this. I need like an actual feedback here. But okay. Measures to expand experience from sources other than hunting. We'll provide various options for leveling up by increasing the amount of experience acquired from content other than hunting. Yeah, they already added a lot of daily experience, but I think it's once per day per account for completing your symbol dailies in Vanishing Journey in Arcane River. We're mainly considering ways to increase the reward and the monster park runs as well. Experience for currently underutilized content or add new content aimed at acquiring experience. Examples of this in New June update are adding experience to rewards to the Arcane River daily quest. Oh yeah, and improving monster park. Okay, I just mentioned those. Okay, and adding new monster park stages. Yeah, however, we try to avoid giving additional experience for content which already provides sufficient motivation to play, which attractive rewards and experience. Under this direction, we have no plans to increase the experience from clearing boss content. And it's okay. We're not talking about like increasing as if there is some already. Like you're literally getting no experience from bosses. Like you'll get 50,000 or something when you need trillions or quadrillions to level. We're not talking about like I want to get 10% EXP for killing hard will. Just I want the number, the third digit behind the comma. I want the third decimal number to actually go up when I kill a hard boss in the game. But okay. Describe this boss rewards reorganization. We would like to move in the direction of increasing the tradable item rewards. Sure. Okay, well that's a hard no on that one. Measures to motivate growth. Okay. In order to motivate hunting, we prepared a way for users to create small communities where they can find players with similar preferences. Huh. Guys, this is a genius idea. A way for users to create small communities where they can find players with... Oh my, I got a great idea. We could call it guilds. Oh my god, it's genius. Are you fucking kidding me right now? Have they actually played this game before? It's just various content bosses or dressing up, communicate with each other, and play together. Can I use the quote from Malcolm in the Middle where Dewey says, like, I had no expectations and I'm still disappointed? Can just imagine that. Imagine Dewey from Malcolm in the Middle saying that, okay? In order to motivate leveling up, in addition to the merit of direct spec ups based on level, we think that there should be more content which can be enjoyed as a character gets stronger. Other than adding high-level areas, we want to provide more motivation and goals for growth by diversifying the difficulty of boss content. In addition, does that mean that they're adding more easy and hard modes to all the bosses? Because I think that's generally a decent idea. Also gives a lot more people access to things like Neocore-esque events, where they can do the easier version of the boss, or they can double dip with multiple characters, so they can still kind of get to capping if they have enough characters that can access the lower level difficulties or the multiple difficulties of the bosses. That could be good. In addition, we considered linking other systems like achievements. It's happening, guys. It's happening faster than you guys thought. Remember, 2 years ago, I said achievements were going to be huge, okay? And I said everyone was laughing. I was going to have the last laugh, okay? It says we considered, though. It means that they're not going to do it. But soon. Soon, guys. Soon, TM. It's coming. It's coming home. Oh, it's coming home. Achievement rewards are coming soon, guys. Gonna get some copium in the chat. Soon, achievements will matter. I'm telling you, by 2024, achievements are going to be the most important thing in this game. And also by that point, you'll be able to skip through all of the pre-quest bullshit, so you'll be able to complete it on multiple characters as well. Okay, we considered linking other systems like achievements as a means of motivating character growth, but it is optional content and it could feel like another hurdle. So we are leaving it as optional motivation like it is right now. Achievements don't give any additional rewards other than achievement points right now, so in the future we will avoid providing rewards that help grow through achievements if possible. Okay, never mind, they just said that they will absolutely not do. Wait, is that what they're actually saying? Because giving rewards to something that doesn't have it now will make people feel like they need to do it, therefore we'll keep it useless. Got it. Okay. That's amazing. Don't worry, guys. 2024. Remember. That's the day. Convenience improvements. In order to solve the lack of setup inventory slots, we are planning to apply... Lack of setup... Oh, yeah, because of chairs and titles and all of that bullshit. Planning to apply a change in August that updates so you can use up to 5 chair and title bags. Ooh. In the August update, we are planning to add a damage to a normal monster's hyperstats and a hyperstat preset feature. Praise to Allah and all the other dudes up there. Presets are coming, guys. Presets are coming, one at a time. Alright, we had the Legion preset. We had the Familiar Badge preset. Hyperstat preset. They're coming. Inner Ability preset when, guys? KMS, please, keep rallying, alright? Keep rallying the troops. By 2022, I want to see inner ability preset so we can have a bossing and a mobbing one. Oh yeah, that'd be so coggers. Okay, I can't believe I said that. We're trying to match the reset times as the current week reset days are different for each content. However, it may be difficult to apply this immediately because there are many types of data that need to be settled and reset, and we need to make additional considerations due to changes in reset times. We will try to make adjustments to unify reset times as soon as possible, and development team is planning to adjust the standard daily reset time to 10 a.m. and the standard weekly reset time to 10 a.m. on Mondays. Okay, I actually like that everything doesn't reset at the same day, because that does give me the peace of mind that I don't have to do everything on one day to get it done. You're actually requiring us right now, if you put everything, all the resets at the same time, you're requiring us to plan ahead in our entire week and make our decisions ourselves on when we're going to do things. We can't be trusted with those things, okay? You need to have things expire on, like reset on Monday, reset on Tuesday, reset on Thursday, reset on Saturday, so that we know that we have to do things by then, okay? You have to give us deadlines. If you give us one deadline for everything, it's gonna be a massacre, all right? There's gonna be so much content that doesn't get done. It's like, okay, I've got 1 hour and I've got 18 bosses, 7 dailies, and 12 weeklies. Okay, well, what am I dropping this week? Because this is a grind game, okay? All of our time is taken up by grinding. I'm working on Legion. It'll be interesting to see what that's going to do. But if everything is really going to be unified on one reset, then oof. Also, I don't know if this is going to affect when GMS reset will be. Maybe, you know, the weekly reset part, but not when in the day it will be. I'm not sure on that. If it is, that'll be interesting. I totally forget the reset times for each thing then. We're going to make improvements to Monster Collection in the August update in order to improve improve the convenience, sorry. Don't improve the inconvenience, that's not cool. We're lowering the around Victoria Island, Aqua Road, Nihal Desert, Mulong Dojo medal reward requests. Changing the Monster Collection Expedition boxes to be storageable, and changing certain untradeable rewards to be storageable. We also plan to add an expedition cancel feature. Okay, so they're basically adding everything that people were saying that they would like to get. Or almost everything. Not an extra reward for past 600. FactPet's downwards loot rate will be increased in the August update. We plan to apply it as 60% of the upwards range. Okay. That's pretty big. I think, yeah. Changes to the MVP, additional experience, 50% coupon, trade status, or a reorganization of the Cross Hunter shop will be checked and reviewed after the boss rewards reorganization. Right. And again, you don't want to throw everything in there at the same time. You want to change a few things, change it around, see what effect that has on the gameplay, and then go from there. So that's what they're doing with this. So I think that's in general, that's a pretty good idea. Reboot world improvements. Oh, and all of this is for reboot. Nice. Arcane River droplet stones have a very low drop rate and are material that was intended to be obtained through trading. Yeah, that's why we have a bunch of them that we can buy in shops that non-reboot can't, right? We've decided that selling them in event meso shops was helpful. Again, yeah, there we go. That's what I just said. For the supply and demand in Reboot World, where you cannot trade. So in the second half of the year, we are planning to sell them in Reboot World shops for mesos at all times. Wow. I'm just trying to wrap my head around that one. That is massive. I think we joked about it like 3 days ago that they could do that. I guess it was already out, but I hadn't read any of this yet. If they're going to be like 50 mil each, if you know what you're doing, you just unironically completely skip Abzo. I mean, it'll still be expensive, right? It's 50 mil each, so if you want to buy one piece, it's like over 5 bill. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Would you really want to skip Abzo? It depends on how far in the game you want to go, of course. But if you're even wailing just a little bit... But that's... yeah. Press was out 3 days ago? Yeah, but I hadn't read it yet. Then to stop investing into Abzo. Well, like I said, I think it'll be fine to like go into Arcane with like your top 2-3 characters. But all the other characters, you'll probably still get Abzo and maybe even like high Star Force Abzo and transfer over. Because I don't think it's going to be realistic to say like, oh, I'll just buy full Arcane sets on everything. But you will be buying Arcane weapons. But like, yeah, if you want to buy like a full Arcane weapon, that's still over 10 bill just for the item. And then you need enough boss clears to turn it into the weapon. But that is crazy. I mean, we'll need to know the exact numbers, but I'm assuming it's just going to be 50 mil per. And it says at all times, so I'm assuming there's no limit either. Oh, you think maybe it'll be more than 50 mil, like 70 mil to 100 mil? That would be a lot of money for droplets, but and then removing it from the event shops. You still need to kill the boss? Yes, that's true. I just said it. You still need. Well, no, you can kill normal Lucid and normal Will without Abzos. And before Penciler Gear, people asking for hard Will, hard Lucid carries for stones so they can get Arcane. That will happen. But that will most likely happen with people who have characters in their accounts that can already clear normal Lucid and normal Will anyway. And they'll just tag along for more bosses. You'll see, especially once the reboot passive change comes in, people are going to be so strong. The amount of people that can just go in solo Lucid and Will, hard Lucid and hard Will, that will be a huge amount of people. And these people will want to fund their account with like characters to get full Arcanes, and they will just exchange carries with a bunch of other people where they just have 5 noobs running around that know the mechanics because they have mains that know the mechanics, but they bring like less than 1% of damage between the 5 of them, and the one person just basically solos, and then they just use that to get enough stones on all the characters, and then instead of, you know, doing that with hard Lucid, with hard Lotus and hard Damien to get full Abzo and everything, they'll just get full Arcane on everything. I think that will definitely happen, yeah. I think definitely. In the case of Arc, the character's attack power and stats are very high, so it has been concluded that there is not much difference between Absolute Labs and Arcane. I mean, if anything, getting the weapons is going to be pretty big. Okay, so that's big. And then what else? However, alleviating the supply and demand of nodes should take into account the growth experiences of users of all worlds, not just Reboot worlds. So we will first analyze the overall user experience and value of trading. Wait, were they considering putting nodes up for sale for Mezzos as well? Wow, that could be just like, okay, I want to get a new character. Boom, 5 bill, buy nodes, go. What up, Profa? There's some wild Twitch handles today. A Rude, Edits, and the Broken Gifts. Edits has been in here before. Yeah, Rude is active in here today. Hashtag no party normal Lucid and Will before you solo kill. That's a big. That's a massive hashtag. Reorganize discussion board opinions. Won't translate anything. Blah blah blah. Once again, we'd like to give our thanks to the users who gave a lot of opinions to discussion board. Right. Okay. That's the whole thing. Quite a bombshell at the end there. Permanent Reboot World droplet sale. That's pretty massive. Remember, like 4 years ago when I talked about allowing people to sell droplets and nodes for Mezzos so they can get a better understanding of the value of these drops when they get them? I guess they decided to do the exact opposite and let you buy them for Mezzos, but okay. I mean, I think in general this is a good idea because you don't want to keep people artificially in the lower level areas, right? So now the people who can actually make money and can train in the higher level areas can still use that money to fund their lower characters with the droplets, and they won't have to feel like, well, we have to stay at Limina until 275, otherwise I don't get droplets anymore, right? Broken Gifts, thank you for the Prime. Thank you for joining Scardor, Grass, and Cormans, W, Badge, Beautiful, and thank you for the channel. I love you. Pay 150 bill, buy level 250, and character pick nose and yeah, basically. You still have to get a 250 though, but Somebody gift sub me? Yeah, do they? Is that how it works? You just say somebody gift sub me and then you just get a gifted sub? Is that how it works? Ruffa, they even made subs cheaper in the Netherlands, dude. It's only €4 anymore. It's cheap. Only if you carry Sheesh Rebel without him dying out. Oh yeah, is he streaming right now? Okay, and then the so lots of stuff in there. So let me know what you thought about all of this. Some really good suggestions that definitely are similar to some other things I've heard from certain content creators. And then there's also this little small thing that I wanted to add into this video because this is a small little thing that we can just go over. The first Golden Gate time, the first Golden Hands Award, sorry. Preliminary voting. Players can vote for user submissions. They would most likely see implemented in-game. You have to have a certain level of character. You can vote 5 times. The top 50 and the top 100. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, you can go to the website and see everything. Oh, wow. Each submission shows the name, world IGN of the creator, and 2 buttons. The green button is to vote, and the pink button is to see more information about the submission. Which includes some descriptive text, more detailed images, and any additional art that they have included. Oh god, there's probably a lot of stuff. I didn't look at the hairs or faces too much, but here are some of the outfits I liked. Oh, so these are like a selection of which ones you liked. And these are Notestone pets. A blue one, a green one, a red one. Where's the yellow one? Do the little NPCs. Little Oz pets. The class pets. You know what would be cool? Oh my god, you know what would be cool? If you could get, like when you sit on a chair and your other characters show up in the chair, that you summon another one of your characters as your pet, and that their look changes as the look of that character changes. So that you can have like, you can use your mules in your account to also loot for you again. I think that'd be pretty cool. Sniped? Well, it actually does work, Ruffa. Grats, dude. Bedankt voor het cadeau op een standard message in Dutch. Okay, let's see if we can... So these are like... That's a lot of hair, man. These were all like hairs and faces. Oh my god, there's so many. So I'll include the link for this in the description so you guys can go through this. It's gonna load a little bit slowly because of the Korean stuff, but wow, there's a lot of stuff in here. Honestly though, like 90% of these hairs could already exist in the game and I wouldn't know. Fluffy dandelion hair. Hey, somehow I'm not upset at this. I think this could work. It's got HP percentage on 160 items is only 12. Yep. Because that event, the fight between feminists and ordinary users continues. Yeah, nothing is... They should really just get rid of the like character sex in this game, or the character gender in this game. Everyone should just be able to make like a unisex character and just dress it up with hair and face and equips whatever they want. It makes absolutely no sense to have that distinction anymore. And any character should be able to marry any character, whether it's a zero or whether it's like 2 guy characters or 2 female characters. Like that's such a weird like boundary to still have in there in 2021. Yeah, you want to be able to anvil stuff. You want to be able to wear all of the annex you get from boxes. There's just so many stupid arbitrary boundaries that would get lifted if you just get rid of that. It makes it, I think, so much easier to code as well. Just everything is just like open, and like, you know. Pirat Kala gives it yourself to Applic. Oh, thank you, Kala. Appreciate it. They're never gonna remove that though. If it's like hard to do, then probably not. But I think if you get enough like push for it, maybe. But who knows? Who knows? But yeah, I'll add links to this so you guys can look through all of the stuff. This is just like an excerpt that Max put on here, the things that he liked. But there's a lot of stuff. And this is like one of them, and then this is the other one, I think. If you click, oh no, wait, this is the other one. What did I just click? Okay, update August 6th. Oh yeah, and these are the eyes and the faces. Oh wow. Drooling face? I don't think you know what drooling is. This is more like demon baby, alien demon baby face. But okay. But yeah. Something about gender politics is annoyingly... Yeah, exactly. It doesn't even have anything to do with that. Oh, look at all these outfits. Jeez. This is so many submissions. That also shows you how enormous this game is in Korea, right? That they have so many submissions for this kind of stuff. Don't we have like a shrimp pet like I feel like we have something shrimpy like this. Maybe that's a different aspect of the game. Oh, you can have a droplet pet? People like the idea of nodestone pets, I see. Dude, some of these... Tobin hair warrior with a Tobin hair... Petite Tobin hair warrior. I like this one. And the scuffed, stretched Tobin hair speech bubble. I like this one. I like that. Yeah, but having a gender change coupon does not address the underlying problems of transferability and of, look, you know, of zeros being able to be married and, you know, all that stuff. But yeah, let me know what you thought about all of this stuff. You know, a lot of cool things that they mentioned that we're going to get, and probably a bunch of things that are going to be introduced into this one here, the new Boss Guardian Slime KMS Thespian patch notes, I think, because, of course, those are the patch notes for right now. For, well, for next week or for, like, 2 weeks from now, depending on how long the Thespian is. So... a lot of that stuff they probably already want to implement, so we'll go over that next. That'll be another video, but on this one, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.